You're going to see a crypto rally into the end of the year, and it really does help to see JP Morgan say they're open to the idea of using
Or
crypto
value.
as
And I
collateral.
think that
We're
other cryptos, including XRP, have a use case, a legitimate use case. I think XRP
Hey
is a
there,
wonderful
future
working.
millionaires! Welcome back to the channel. It's so good to see you again. I really hope you're having an absolutely amazing day, no matter where you're watching from around this incredible world of ours. All right, let's dive right into XRP today. I've got the one-day chart pulled up here, and wow, we're sitting pretty at $2.59 with a solid 3.62% gain. That's right, another beautiful green day for XRP. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, come on, XRP is moving so slowly. But here's the thing, and this is where perspective really matters. If we could jump in a time machine back to 2022, we'd watch XRP sit there for 3 whole days just to move half a penny. Half a penny. So when I see XRP moving by dimes now, as someone who's been holding XRP for the long haul, I'm absolutely loving it. This is exactly the kind of steady, healthy growth we want to see. And check this out, Bitcoin just climbed back above $111,000. But here's what's really interesting. It's only up about 0.5% today. Meanwhile, XRP is still absolutely crushing it, outperforming both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now that's what I love to see. XRP showing its strength and proving it can hold its own against the big players in the crypto space. XRP is absolutely dominating the market right now. And you know what? People are finally starting to wake up and take notice. This momentum, I think it's just getting started, folks. But here's what I'm really excited about. Just wait until those XRP ETFs go live. I honestly can't contain my excitement because that's going to be our crystal ball moment. We'll get such a clear picture of where XRP is headed in this bull run. Now, I keep hearing everyone throwing around that $50 plus target, and you know what? I'm totally on board with that prediction. But between you and me, I actually think XRP could surprise us all and go way, way higher than that. So here's something that's been bugging me. According to the traditional 4-year cycle, some people are saying this bull market is already over. I keep seeing all these technical analysis experts throwing in the towel, saying, pack it up, see you in 2028. But hold on a second. This cycle hasn't even started yet for altcoins. Think about it. XRP and a bunch of other utility-driven cryptocurrencies basically just hit the reset button once we got that new administration in Washington. That wasn't the end. That was just a healthy correction. Here's what I really believe is happening. The real breakout is still loading up behind the scenes, and when it finally launches, I'm telling you right now, it's going to leave so many people in the dust wondering what just happened. You've got to remember, when XRP decides to move, it moves fast. Like, blink and you'll miss it fast. Right now, it feels like everyone's just sleeping on crypto, completely checked out. But guess what's going to happen? Those exact same people are going to be scrambling to FOMO back in the moment things start breaking out. Don't be one of those people. Alright, so I came across this really interesting point from James Rule XRP, and he's absolutely spot on here. He's calling out how most writers covering XRP clearly haven't done their homework. If these journalists actually took the time to dig into the fundamentals, understanding how the XRP escrow system works and those monthly release programs, they'd have a much better grasp on what's really happening. So here's what's coming up. Ripple is set to unlock 1 billion XRP on November 1st. Now, before anyone starts panicking, this is all part of the scheduled program that's been in place for years. Look, as seasoned XRP investors, we all saw this coming from a mile away. This happens like clockwork, every single month, right on schedule. And here's what's going to happen next. Ripple will turn around and lock back up 700 to 800 million of that XRP, just like they always do. This whole process has been running smoothly for years now, but somehow, and this absolutely blows my mind, every single month we get the same old FUD spreading around like wildfire. It's so predictable at this point that I could literally set my calendar and tell you exactly when people are going to start freaking out about XRP. Mark my words. November 1st rolls around and boom, right on cue, the FUD machine starts cranking again. It's like watching the same movie over and over. It's not speculation. XRP is a strategic asset. So here's what's really happening behind the scenes. Ripple is seriously ramping up their game when it comes to connecting with big corporate and institutional partners through these tokenized equity deals. It's actually pretty brilliant when you think about it. They're strengthening relationships with major ventures like Evernorth by literally converting XRP into company shares. But here's the kicker. While they're doing this, they're also pulling XRP out of circulation, which could be huge for long-term value. Pretty smart strategy, right? Now, this isn't some brand new idea they just came up with. Ripple's been playing this game for a while, using XRP for investments and acquisitions. Think about their stake in Tranglo and other fintech projects that are making the XRP ledger even more powerful for cross-border payments. And get this, Ripple's chairman also pledged 50 million XRP as his personal investment in Evernorth. But oh man, I still see so many people absolutely losing their minds over Chris Larsen making this move. They're screaming, "He's dumping on the XRP community." But here's what they're completely missing. Everything Ripple does is strategic. It's all about adding real utility and value to XRP. The good news? Some people are finally starting to connect the dots and see what's actually happening here. But others? They just want to keep complaining and fighting about every little thing. And you know what? Those same people crying doom and gloom today? You'll never hear a peep from them once XRP starts its real breakout. All right, everyone, this is exciting. It's officially crypto rally time. Tom Lee just dropped some serious insights, and he's calling for a major crypto rally that's going to carry us straight into the end of the year. You've got to hear what he has to say about this. Let's jump right in.
You're going to see a crypto rally into the end of the year, and it really does help to see JP Morgan say they're open to the idea of using crypto as collateral. We're 10 weeks before the end of the year, and the S&P's at 6,800. I think it's still a base case then for people to say that in just a typical year, the S&P should gain another 4%. That would put us over 7,000 into the end of the year. And I think that that's sort of the minimum. But because we've got the Fed cutting, and they started in September, they've been on pause all year. That only happened twice in the last 50 years, which is 1998 and 2024. I actually think the S&P, given the skepticism that's been plaguing this market all year, we could do far better than 4%, maybe even 10% into year end.
Wow. Okay, so where does crypto fit in, especially when you're looking at how those currencies are moving versus what's happening with tariff concerns, global trade concerns, et cetera?
Crypto had a huge deleveraging event on October 10th, and part of that was triggered by the escalating tensions with U.S. and China on tariffs and trade. And that was the biggest liquidation event in 5 years for crypto. So there is still those ripple effects, 2 weeks later that are plaguing the crypto market. But I think we're almost through that, because a measure like something called open interest for both Ethereum and Bitcoin are at record lows at a time when the technicals for both Bitcoin and Ethereum are flipping positive. So I think you're going to see a crypto rally into the end of the year. And it really does help to see JP Morgan say they're open to the idea of using crypto as collateral.
I'm telling you, we're about to see a massive rally once the Fed cuts rates again. And guess what? That's happening this week. This could be the catalyst that really gets this whole market fired up and moving in a big way. But here's what I'm most excited about. I still think we're going to have an absolutely incredible, super bullish finish to 2025. The timing couldn't be better, folks. All right, let's dive into the technical side of things. XRP has almost wrapped up its 4-hour structure, and we've been tracking this with incredible precision over on the dark side analysis. Now, I want to show you something really cool on the 3-day time frame. Remember when we called out $2.22 as that critical final frontier? Well, XRP bounced perfectly right there, just like we predicted. Here's what's really interesting. The RSI is sitting at the exact same level it was back in November of last year. That's a pretty strong signal. Right now, we can expect XRP to keep moving within this triangle pattern we're seeing. But here's where it gets exciting. Once XRP breaks through that orange resistance line, I'm telling you, everyone and their brother is going to flip super bullish on this thing. It's going to be like a switch gets flipped. We've been updating all our charts except for this key one I'm showing you. So here's where we stand. We've got resistance levels sitting at $2.85 and $5.85, while our support has now moved up to that solid $2.22 level. This setup is looking really, really good. So basically what he's pointing out is that we could be looking at a massive upward move any day now. All we need is to break above that orange line right there. And you know what? That's exactly what everyone in the community is buzzing about right now. People are saying that recent dip we saw, that wasn't a setback. That was actually our green light, the signal that it's officially go time for XRP. Now comes the fun part. Let's sit back and watch what unfolds next. This could get really interesting, really fast. XRP's chart just completed the right shoulder. Here's the significance. Here's what's fascinating. While everyone's glued to Bitcoin, XRP's chart just quietly completed its right shoulder. This is the exact same setup we've seen right before every single historic breakout in XRP's history. But here's the thing. Most people won't even notice it until XRP is already shooting straight up like a rocket. That's why I always tell you, watch the charts, not the news headlines. Like I mentioned, everyone's calling for this breakout now. And when it finally kicks off, oh man, it's going to be absolutely wild in the crypto space. We're talking full-blown euphoria mode. People are going to be losing their minds with excitement. You know what's going to happen next? People who've never touched crypto before are going to start hitting you up. Hey, am I too late to get in? Should I buy some now? And you'll be sitting there, watching these massive green candles just exploding on the XRP chart. But here's the crazy part. Everyone had the exact same opportunity to stack up on XRP when it was cheap. But nobody ever wants to buy when there's blood in the streets, right? It's always the same story. Oh no, crypto's crashing. I don't want to buy now. Let me wait and see what happens. Then boom! Before you know it, everyone's in full euphoria mode and suddenly everybody has to have crypto right now. Mark my words, we're about to see this whole cycle play out again. The FOMO is going to be absolutely insane. Get ready for a massive wave of new investors flooding into this space over the next few months. It's going to be incredible to watch.
Utility will win. Failure is not an option. All right, I want to show you something really cool. Check out all these big names that are already on board. When I look at these people and companies, I see them as the true early investors. These are the smart money players who didn't sit around waiting for perfect regulations to come along. They wanted to get ahead of their competition, and they wanted to secure their position in this space while they still could. Pretty smart move, right? Now here's what's coming next. We're going to see another wave of companies jump in. I like to call them the laggards, the ones who are finally realizing they can't wait any longer. And then, once crypto regulations actually get finalized, you'll see that final massive wave of adoption, because suddenly, everyone feels safe to join the party. Nobody ever wants to be first, but once the floodgates open, man, it happens lightning fast. Here's the thing though, we're still just seeing the early signs of institutional adoption. We've got a long runway ahead of us still. You'll know we've really hit mainstream adoption when you start walking past store after store and seeing "We accept crypto" signs everywhere. That's when you'll realize, okay, this thing is really happening now.
Right now, we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. Adoption is still at pretty low levels. But here's something that should get you excited. According to Kukrium's CEO, Ripple is literally building the next generation of Wall Street using XRP and Hidden Road. Think about that for a second. We're talking about reimagining the entire financial infrastructure. That's what Ripple is doing right now. Take a listen.
And I think that store value, and I think that other cryptos, including XRP, have a use case, a legitimate use case. I think XRP's is a wonderful working model. I think that it's only going to get better. They made an acquisition today where I believe they bought a prime broker, and that's really big news because that means there'll be almost instantaneous settlement across all asset classes inside that prime broker. It'll be a wonderful start to the new Wall Street, that's based on blockchain that moves really quickly. No more 3 days for wire transfers. We're gonna have instant money, and that's good.
Yeah, and that's exactly what everyone's been craving. I mean, come on. Who wants to sit around waiting 3 whole days for a transaction to go through anymore? That's like ancient history at this point. Ripple Prime is going to be absolutely massive. And here's the best part. It's going to bring incredible value to XRP holders as this whole thing unfolds. We're talking game-changing stuff here. Look, we're still in the super early stages of all this. People nowadays expect everything to happen overnight. They want instant results, instant gratification. But here's the reality. Real, meaningful change takes a little time to build up momentum. Then one day, bam! You suddenly realize just how massive something has become and you're like, whoa, how did we get here so fast? Speaking of momentum, check this out. XRP is eyeing a potential rally all the way up to $3.45. This comes right after Ripple's CEO basically told investors it's time to lock in their positions. The technical analysis is looking really strong here. XRP is setting up for a potential breakout targeting that $3 to $3.45 range. What's driving this? We've got solid technical support holding strong, plus Ripple's aggressive push into the institutional space is creating some seriously bullish momentum. This is exactly the kind of setup that gets me excited. The fact that Brad basically told everyone to lock in, man, that really lit a fire under this whole space. Everyone's energy completely shifted, and now you can feel the excitement building. People are saying, all right, it's time to lock in. This is go time. The internet of value is coming. Everyone better get ready for what's about to unfold. And as XRP holders, that's exactly what we're going to experience firsthand. Here's what I'm convinced is going to happen. Once this breakout finally kicks off, it's going to be lightning fast. Like, blink and you'll miss it kind of speed. It's going to catch everyone completely off guard and happen at the most unexpected moment. Picture this. You're going to wake up one morning, check your phone, and be like, wait, what the heck is happening with XRP right now? That's when it'll hit you. This is it. It's finally happening. And over the next few weeks, oh man, you're going to see people everywhere talking nonstop about their crypto portfolios. It's going to be absolutely wild. Get ready, because when XRP decides to move, it doesn't mess around. It's going to be absolutely bonkers. I always tell people, seriously, get your sleep now because you're going to need every bit of energy you can get. You'll find yourself obsessively checking your portfolio throughout the day, then again at midnight, then at 3 a.m. You'll be like, what in the world is happening? Where's XRP's ceiling going to be? Watching it all unfold is going to be absolutely mind-blowing. Now, here's my take on the numbers. I think 1,000 XRP in this bull run could easily be worth around $50,000. And that's me being conservative. I'm seeing people throwing around $100 XRP targets, which would make 1,000 XRP worth a cool $100,000. We're talking about life-changing money for everyone who's been holding strong. There's literally nothing standing in XRP's way anymore, and I've been hammering this point home for months now. Remember back in 2021? We had that massive Ripple versus SEC lawsuit hanging over our heads like a dark cloud. Plus, exchanges were delisting XRP left and right. It was a complete mess. Even with all that chaos, we still managed to hit $1.92. So many people were shocked that it even happened. I remember everyone saying, it'll never break a dollar with this SEC case going on, and then boom, it surprised everyone. But this time around, it's nothing but pure catalysts and clear skies ahead for this incredible cryptocurrency. The path is wide open, so until that breakout happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's build wealth together. All right, everyone, that's a wrap on today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. I'll catch you in the next one, and have an awesome night.